गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन, वेरी गुड इवनिंग गाइस. करो फटाफट से ज्वाइन सो दैट वी कैन हैव अ क्विक डिस्कशन बिफोर यू स्टार्ट योर प्रिपरेशंस फॉर टैक्सेशन. So I'll wait for you guys. And all those who are joining in, please let me know how was your paper. कैसा रहा आज का पेपर? What are your views? ज्यादा लंबा नहीं करेंगे सर, फटाफट से क्विक डिस्कशन ही करेंगे क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा टाइम आप लोगों का नहीं लिया जाएगा. चिंता मत करो. अभी कह रहे बकवास क्यों अभी? हेलो 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 देवशीष, राजीव. ब्लैंक हो गया. ओके, बहुत हार्ड था. देखो, आ, अगर मैं पोल की बात करूं तो 44 वोट्स हैं और उसमें से 66% बच्चे कह रहे हैं कि हार्ड था. ठीक है, 22% कह रहे हैं सर मॉडरेट था और 11% ऐसे भी हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि सर इजी था पेपर. ग्रेट. बहुत टफ आया. करना क्या है? ओके, चलो. सी, the paper was definitely challenging, the paper was definitely tricky. पेपर ट्रिकी था. एंड प्रयास कह रहा है बहुत टफ आया था. देखो, मैंने जब लाइव किया था, जो लास्ट लाइव किया था मैंने ऑन 6th, मैंने तभी आप लोगों को पहले ही अलर्ट कर दिया था. आई गेव द वार्निंग दैट पेपर इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी टफ बट यू शुड बी रेडी टू टेक ऑन. राइट, पेपर डेफिनेटली ट्रिकी था और ये सेशन जो है, दिस सेशन इज नॉट टू मेक यू गाइज वरी अबाउट इट. राइट, डेफिनेटली अभिषेक, डेफिनेटली पेपर ट्रिकी था. पेपर डेफिनेटली ट्रिकी था, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. इसमें मैं भी डाउट नहीं कर रहा कि पेपर टफ या ट्रिकी नहीं था. ठीक है, डेफिनेटली था. बट अब ये सेशन क्यों कर रहा हूं? हाँ, फुल सॉल्व करने में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट एंड दैट इज क्वाइट जेन्युइन ऑन योर पार्ट. ठीक है ना, आप लोगों के पार्ट पे बहुत जेन्युइन है सर ये चीज. कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. देखो, ये सेशन का पर्पस क्या था कि आप लोगों को काम करना. और अगर कोई नवंबर 23 वाले स्टूडेंट्स ये सेशन देख रहे हैं या देखेंगे बाद में रिकॉर्डेड, तो ये सेशन पूरा देखना. नवंबर 23 वालों के पास सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ है. पहली चीज मनु और अटेम्प्ट लग जाएगा सर. यही चीज मैं कहने वाला था कि ये नेगेटिव मत बोलो. ठीक है, द पावर ऑफ स्पोकन वर्ड्स मैटर अ लॉट. नहीं ठीक हुआ, कोई बात नहीं यार, अपने आप को एटलीस्ट पॉजिटिव एक फीडबैक दो. मुश्किल है लेकिन नामुमकिन नहीं है. ठीक है, अपने आप को क्या बोला है? अपने आप को बोलो कि कोई बात नहीं, पेपर टफ था लेकिन मैंने अपनी तरफ से एफर्ट अच्छा किया. मैंने कोशिश तो की एटलीस्ट. ठीक है, मैंने कोशिश तो की. रेस्ट देखा जाएगा. वट एवर हैपन्स आई विल टेक इट कॉन्फिडेंटली. ठीक है, स्टार्ट ही नहीं कर पाया. अभिषेक, डिटेल्ड आंसर नहीं करूंगा. साक्षी, नवंबर 23 के लिए तो ये लाइव जरूर सुनना पूरा एंड तक कि आप लोग किस तरह से बच सकते हो, क्योंकि बहुत सारे बच्चे ना छोटी छोटी गलतियां करते हैं अपनी प्रेपरेशन टाइम पे और उसका जो नुकसान है वो अब भुगतते हो तुम लोग. ठीक है, मैं बताऊंगा कैसे. ओके, विल कवर इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, डोंट वरी. गंगू, विल बी कवरिंग इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, डोंट वरी. ओके, so all those who are preparing for November 2023, please watch this live or watch this video till the end, right? And hit the like button guys. Like kar do fatafat se. All those who are live right now, please hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, any one of you is new, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, when I received this question paper, विनय, पेपर बहुत अच्छा गया. ग्रेट विनय, ग्रेट. The first one who is saying कि सर पेपर अच्छा गया, that's good, that's very good. See, the whole game was around how you are going to tackle the question, how you are conceptually strong, whether you have done enough practice. The whole game was on the practice in this particular paper. conceptually strong, one thing. Second thing, if you have done the right practice, then definitely you would have at least attempted 70 to 80 marks paper, at least. I'll tell Priyansh, I'll tell, don't worry. Right? If you would have practiced enough questions, right? Why, sir? Time paper was difficult. That is why it seemed like it was a lengthy paper, right? The paper was definitely on the tougher side. On the tougher side, I would say, right? See, try to understand. When I received this paper, you know, I was smiling, sir. Sir, आप क्यों हंस रहे थे? हमें तो सर पेपर देख के रोना आ रहा था और आप कह रहे हो हंस रहे थे, क्योंकि एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा आया पेपर में. कौन सा वाला क्वेश्चन मैं अभी बताता हूं आपको. 10 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन, ये वाला क्वेश्चन सर, नंबर ऑफ वर्किंग डेज, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 का ए पार्ट. और ये क्वेश्चन आज मॉर्निंग में ही मैं रिकॉर्ड कर रहा था. सेम क्वेश्चन मैं मॉर्निंग में रिकॉर्ड कर रहा था. आई वाज रिकॉर्डिंग दिस क्वेश्चन. For whom, sir? I was recording this question for the CMA students. The CMA module question. This is a question from CMA module, right? I'll show you. See this. English batch paper number 10, if you can see it on the top. See, illustration number 3 was there. I marked it as important in the morning. Well done, Paras. Well done. That was really important. See, working days, production units, raw material purchases by percentage, weight and annual total. Was not this the same question, sir? Same question, right? So that's why I was smiling. Now, coming to paper. Most of you are saying that, yes, sir, the paper was difficult. I agree to that, right? I do not deny this, that the paper was really easy, sir. No, I won't say that. The paper wasn't really easy in the one go. As a student, if I think that if, you know, in your place, if I have been in the examination hall, even I would have been worried seeing the paper at one go, right? Some of the questions were really tricky. But now what you people have to do is not to think too much about it, right? Now you have to focus on the taxation. What if, sir, we are not able to clear? How can you decide that you are not able to clear? Sir, if the paper was tough, the checking might be on the lenient side, right? So you might cross, if you have attempted for 70, 80, you might get 60, you might get 50. So do not lose hope. Do not lose hope, right? Until it's ultimately final, do not lose hope. 80 marks, that's good. Many of my students have attempted 80 marks. I talked to, I received some of the calls, and most of the students said, sir, paper was tough, but ultimately we were able to attempt approximately 80 marks paper. And I'm saying, if you have done the right practice, if you are clear on your concepts, then it was attemptable up to 70, 80 marks, it was attemptable. Sumit, चिंता मत करो, कोई बात नहीं. 80 मार्क्स का अटेम्प्ट किया है ना, हो सकता है उसमें से 50 आ जाए, हो सकता है 45 आ जाए, बाकी पेपर्स कवर कर ले, राइट? दैट्स गुड, आकाश. आई नो यू आर अ लाइव बैच स्टूडेंट, आकाश. I remember you were a costing live batch student, isn't it? See, the question number 1, I'll just give you the quick review. Nothing to worry, Khushi. Even if you have attempted 60 marks in the past also, many of our students, they would say, sir, I attempted for 50 marks only, 60 marks only, and out of that they got 40 marks. What was the positive was that from the other papers, accounts, law and taxation, they aggregated in such a way that 40 marks was good enough, right? Even if you are doing 70-80%, Abhishek, you can score 40-50 marks easily. That's why I'm saying, stay positive. Do not say this negative words that now we'll be attempting for November 23. Sir, that is a far thought. Let the result decide this, right? Not you. What you have to do is, you should be doing your work. You should be doing now the preparation for the next paper, that is taxation. Now, I'll quickly go through with all the questions, right? Sahil, so difficult. Yes, it was difficult, dear. It was difficult. Now, listen to it. All the questions. The question number 1A. Sir, question number 1A. One second, guys. I'm not able to use pen. Wait. I'm doing that. फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड के यूनिट नहीं दिए थे तो मटेरियल के लिए चलेगा. किस चीज की बात कर रहे हो? नमन, किस चीज की बात कर रहे हो? एक मिनट यार. what I am trying to do is that pen is not working, so wait for 1 minute. Right, wait for 1 minute guys, wait for 1 minute. I'm just checking out the things. ठीक है, 1 मिनट के लिए रुक जाओ. मैं अभी आ रहा हूं, क्वेश्चंस ही डिस्कस करने हैं आप लोगों के साथ. मैं इसीलिए आया हूं, फटाफट से शॉर्ट में आप लोगों के साथ सभी क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करने हैं मुझे. ठीक है, राइट. चलो सर, आ जाओ. क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 ए का जो पार्ट था दैट वाज फ्रॉम बैच कॉस्टिंग. ये कहां से आया था सर? ये आया था आपका बैच कॉस्टिंग से सर. रुक जाओ यार, 1 मिनट रुक जाओ. चलिए सर, लेट्स डू इट. ओके, फर्स्ट का ए पार्ट. ए पार्ट कहां से आया? बैच कॉस्टिंग का. ये वाला जो क्वेश्चन था दैट वाज इजी. इसमें कुछ इतना ज्यादा नहीं था, सिंपल क्वेश्चन था बैच कॉस्टिंग का. एनुअल रिक्वायरमेंट दे रखी थी, बैचेस में बनाना था उसे, सेटअप कॉस्ट ऑफ ईच बैच दे रखी थी, इन्वेंट्री होल्डिंग कॉस्ट दे रखी थी, आपको पर यूनिट दे रखी थी, ईबीक्यू निकालना था. और ईबीक्यू, और फिर उसने कहा था कि अगर 7500 यूनिट्स का बैच बनाए, ईबीक्यू ना कर हम 7500 यूनिट्स का बैच बनाए तो एडिशनल कॉस्ट क्या होगी एज कंपेयर टू द कॉस्ट इनकर्ड ऑन ईबीक्यू. तो ये वाला क्वेश्चन तो सिंपल था. ठीक है, ये वाला क्वेश्चन कोई बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल क्वेश्चन नहीं था. दिस वाज अ सिंपलर क्वेश्चन. आपको सिंपली ईबीक्यू वर्सेस 7500 यूनिट्स, पहले ईबीक्यू निकालना था और ईबीक्यू वर्सेस 7500 यूनिट्स लेना था. दैट्स इट. राइट. तो ये तो मैं आई एम assuming that all of you must have been able to attempt this question. Second part, second question, SMC Company Limited is producing a particular design. This was from labor costing. This was from labor costing. Now, in this question, you must have read the questions. Don't worry. Now, when he's saying the existing time rate, in the existing time rate, which data you have to use this particular data. Existing time rate is existing, the operator is working for 60 hours. This is how he is being paid as per the existing data. Right? Don't send the answers. Agamya, don't worry. Don't send the answers because I'm not going to calculate all the answers. I'm just discussing how you should have attempted the question. Right? What was the way this question should have been attempted? So as per the existing data, you will be paying for 60 hours. That is 48 hours at the rate of 150 and 12 hours at the rate of 300. This is the existing time rate. When he is coming to Rowan and Halsey plan, then you should have used this data. Then you have to use this data. Now in this data, what was interesting, sir? He says the standard time allowed for 10 toys is 7.5 hours, right? And he says, assuming that the operator works for 48 hours in a week and produces 100 toys, this is how you should have used that. If for 10 toys, what is the standard time? 7.5 hours, right? For 100 toys which are actually manufactured, 100 toys, 7.5 divided by 10 into 100, that is 75 hours. This is your standard time. What is the actual time taken? Actual time taken is 48 hours because he has clearly mentioned that operator works for 48 hours. Right? So for Rowan and Halsey plan, this should have been the strategy. Clear? This should have been the strategy for Rowan and Halsey plan. Next, coming to the third part, C part. Coming to the C part. C part is that the following information, this is from marginal costing. This is from marginal costing. Now, PV ratio is given to you. margin of safety as a percentage of total sales is given to you and the fixed cost is given to you. He says calculate the break-even sales. That is simple. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Right? Now he says calculate the total sales at present. How you could have calculated the total sales? Sir, if the margin of safety is 25%, then this means your break-even sales will be 75% of total sales. Right? 75%, 1 minus 100 minus margin of safety will give you what? Break-even sales. Break-even sales will be 75% of the total sales. Break-even sales you have calculated here. Right? So 75% of total sales is equal to this particular sales 1. From here you would have got the value of total sales. Then he says the proposed sales value of the company wants to earn the present profit. Now what is the present profit, sir? Present profit is sales into PV ratio. Contribution minus fixed cost will give you the present profit. That becomes your desired profit after reduction of 10% in fixed cost. Right? The fixed cost will reduce by 10%. In this case, the sales as calculated in part 2 multiplied by PV ratio minus fixed cost, right? This is your desired profit. This is your desired profit. Then you have to apply what? You have to apply fixed cost plus the desired profit divided by PV ratio. This will give you the proposed sales value. Right? The thing to be considered here that this fixed cost should be 12,60,000 minus 10%. Next, the sales in value to earn a profit of 20% on the sales, assuming the fixed cost remains unchanged. So whatever the sales to earn a profit of 20% on the sales, assuming the fixed cost is remaining the same, right? And the profit, then sales you have to assume it to be X. Right? The sales you have to assume it to be X. Then profit is what? Profit is 0.20x, right? So sales value X is equal to fixed cost 12,60,000 plus 0.20x divided by PV ratio. Right? Then he says the new margin of safety, if the sales value at present is computed, decreased by 12%. If the sales values, then you can again calculate the new margin of safety. Right? If the sales value will decrease, the profit will also come down. The profit, using the profit, you can calculate the margin of safety. So this was 1C. Now coming to 1D, this was very good question. Okay, 1C was from marginal costing, right? 1D from service costing. 1D is from service costing. Right? Now what is 1D? The 1D says, this toll rate question, what was to be done in this particular question? That, sir, you have to convert the medium and the heavy vehicles into lightweight vehicles. So what was required to be done in this particular question was calculation of equivalent lightweight vehicles. Right? Only then you could have solved this. Equivalent lightweight vehicles, right? Only then you could have solved this particular question. Equivalent lightweight question. And one more important thing was where he's saying 10% of the lightweight vehicles will pass the highway for such use, that is this use where the toll charges are exempt. You have to subtract this because the cost is not allocatable to this 10% of the lightweight vehicles, right? This was not allocatable to the lightweight workers. Clear? So this was how it was to be done. The most important thing, and for this this information was given. For medium vehicles, it is fixed at 2.5 times the lightweight vehicles, and that of heavyweight vehicles is 2 times the medium weight vehicles. Right? Then coming to question number 2A. Question number 2A was very good. This is from budgetary, right? Consumption of raw material. This was from budgetary. Sir, 10 marks question from budgetary. Excellent. Hello, Priyansh. Priyansh, you are already done with costing. Focus on group 2. Now, question number 2A. What is to be done in this? A Limited has furnished the following information for the month of this. 1 second. Number of working days were given. The production in units per working day was given. Raw material purchases percentage by the weights to the total of 4 months. Right, that whatever the total purchases are in the 4 months, 21% is allocatable to January, 26% to February, 30% and 23% to April. Purchase price of the raw material is given. Quantity of the raw material per unit 4 kg. Opening stock of the quantity of raw material per unit of the product. ठीक है, right. Opening stock is given, closing stock is given, all the purchases are made at the start of each month. Required calculate the consumption of raw material month by month and in total. That is in kgs, you have to find out what is the consumption of raw material. Is it difficult? No, sir. How will you calculate consumption? Sir, what is the total production? In the month of January, the total production is 25 into 50. Right, where is the calculator? Okay, this is 25 into 50, that becomes 1250. This is the total production, and it says for 1 unit the raw material consumption is 4 kg. So multiplied by 4, 5000. This is the consumption. This is what is the requirement of the first part. Right, this is what the requirement, the calculate the consumption of raw material. Right, in the second part it says calculate the month-wise quantity and the value of raw material purchased. Then purchase, how you have to calculate the purchase? Consumption plus the closing stock minus the opening stock. Right, that will give you the purchase. Purchase is consumption that we have already calculated. Right, plus closing stock minus opening stock. But the problem here is that you might have faced is, sir, that closing and opening stock are given in total, right? Then how it is to be done? Listen to it carefully, sir. Listen to it carefully how it is to be done. Now you have 4 months, January, February, March and April. Here you have to write total. Right, here you have to take consumption, January, February, March, April, and total you will write here. Then you will write plus closing stock. Plus closing stock. What is the value of what is the closing stock kg given? That is 5100. Closing stock is given as 5100 minus opening stock. Right, opening stock is given as how much? 6020. From here you will get the purchase. Right, whatever the value you get here, then you have to distribute this value. Between January, February, March and April. On what basis? On this basis, 21%, 26, 30 and 23. 21% of this, 26% of this, 30% of this and 23% of this. This has been, this will be your in kgs, right? And when he is talking about value, multiply it with the price, you will get the value. Prepare the price stores ledger for each month using the FIFO method. Using the FIFO method, you can do it, sir, easily. Opening stock plus whatever you are consuming, purchases, then consumption. What is the closing stock? The closing stock of 1 month becomes the opening stock of the next month. So this is how this question should have been done. Moving on, question number 2, B part. B part was comparatively simpler, sir. Escalation clause, contract costing. B part was comparatively simpler. Contract costing. Right, I think B part, the only thing that needs attention was that the rate difference is there and the unit difference is there. Right, but we have to consider only the rate difference multiplied by the standard units. Right, if you have done it wrong, then obviously the marks will get deducted. This was the only thing to be considered carefully in the escalation clause. right? And the requirement was the contract account for both the years without considering the escalation clause. Reading of these one single word is really important, whether he is asking for with escalation clause or without escalation clause. Secondly, compute the total value of the contract by considering the escalation clause. Then what will be the value of the contract if you consider the escalation clause? Right, total increase or decrease in the cost of material and wages for both the years considering the escalation clause. This was how it is to be done. Question number 2, B part. This was comparatively a, I can say, okay question. Coming to question number 3, first part, A part. PQR Limited manufactures 3 products X, Y, and Z. The output is given to you. The selling price is not directly given to you. He says the selling price of product X is 1.25 of the Z, whereas product Y can be sold at double the price of the product Z. Now, product Z can be sold at a profit of 20% on its marginal cost. Marginal cost means whatever is the variable cost plus 20%, right? Other information is given: direct material, direct wages, raw material used for manufacturing all the 3 products is same. Direct wages are paid at the rate of ₹4 per labor hour, right? Total overhead cost of the company is 52,80,000 for the year, out of which ₹1 per labor hour is variable and the rest is fixed. Now, here is the whole game. If you are able to understand up till this point, then this part was comparatively simpler, right? The budget showing the current position, and so this was basically budgetary control. Again, budgetary control is, I mean, I don't think this budgetary control has been asked for so many marks in the past. I'm really shocked. I'm really stunned that this is how the budgetary control has been asked. Now, what is to be done in this question? See, the selling price is not given. Without selling price, he is asking you current position, indicating the total product-wise contribution and profit for the company. One thing, when he's saying the product-wise contribution and profit, that means you have to show it in the marginal statement, marginal cost statement. That is selling price minus variable cost, contribution minus fixed cost, profit, right? This was the right format to show that in the marginal costing statement. Now, the problem here is that the selling price is not given to you. How you should have proceeded with this question? Very clearly given. You should have first calculated the selling price of Z, which is 20% on the marginal cost. So what is the marginal cost of Z? Sir, material cost 20 plus 16. Sir, overheads. What about the overheads? Variable overheads. What is variable overheads? ₹1 per labor hour. How many labor hours, sir? How many labor hours for Z? For Z, how you can calculate a labor hours? Sir, from here, he says ₹4 for 1 hour. How much you have paid? You have paid 16 for how many hours? 1 for 4 into 16. That is 4 hours, right? So, not 1 directly, Abhishek, not 1 directly. Not 1, wrong. This is where you should apply your mind. 1 is given per labor hour, not per unit, right? And direct material cost and wages cost is given per unit, sir, not per labor hour. So this should have been for Z, it should have been 20 plus 16 plus 4 hours into 1. Right? So this would have been 40. This is the variable cost of Z. What will be the selling price of Z? Selling price of Z, that is 40 plus how much percentage? 20% plus 20% of 40. Right? That is 40 plus 8, 48 rupees. Now this is the selling price of Z. This should be the selling price of Z. Now what will be the selling price of X? It is given 1.25 times. X का क्या हो जाएगा? 48 into 1.25. हाँ फिर ठीक है, तुमने लिखा 1 है यार. 48 into 1.25, ठीक है, 60. Y का कितना है? That is double, 96. सेलिंग प्राइस आ गया. वेरिएबल कॉस्ट आप लोगों के पास है, ठीक है, तो यहां से अब क्वेश्चन जो है वो सॉल्व कर सकते थे आप लोग आराम से, राइट? दिस वाज द ट्रिक कि Z का हम लोग कैलकुलेशन कैसे करें. ठीक है, कि Z का हम लोग कैलकुलेशन अगर समझ में आ जाता तो सेलिंग प्राइस आ गई, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट दे रखी है सर, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट में वेरिएबल ओवरहेड्स जोड़ने थे, राइट, वहां से आपके पास आ जाता कंट्रीब्यूशन, कंट्रीब्यूशन में से हम लोग यूनिट्स तो दे ही रखे हैं आपको, उसके बाद फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट को हम लोग कर लेते सर, वेरिएबल जितनी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है माइनस करके हमारे पास फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट आ जाती, ठीक है, मतलब 1 लेबर आर तो 3 रुपीज पर आर के हिसाब से फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट थी हमारी, इनटू नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स। नेक्स्ट ईयर का जो भी प्लस माइनस करने को बोला था वो कर देते, बस दैट दिस वाज द रिक्वायरमेंट, ठीक है। सो दिस वाज हाउ दिस क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A वाज टू बी अटेम्प्टेड। कमिंग टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 3B, 3B कहां आया है सर, कॉस्ट शीट का, ये सिंपल था, कॉस्ट शीट वाला क्वेश्चन तो मुश्किल नहीं था, ठीक है, ये कॉस्ट शीट वाला क्वेश्चन वाज सिंपल, ये तो सब कुछ कर रखा है सर, ये तो था आपके उसमें ही था, दिस वॉज नॉट एट ऑल डिफिकल्ट। प्राइमरी पैकेजिंग कॉस्ट थी टू मेंटेन द क्वालिटी, तो वो आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन का पार्ट बन जाएगी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सैलरी ये सिंपल था सर, ठीक है। और यहां पर एक चीज देखना, कॉस्ट शीट वाले क्वेश्चन में मैं हमेशा बोलता था कि जो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक की वैल्यू है ना, वो हम लोग फीफो पे भी कर सकते हैं, वो हम लोग वेटेड एवरेज पे भी कर सकते हैं, अगर क्वेश्चन साइलेंट हो तो फीफो पे, राइट, और उसने यहाँ पे स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन ही कर दिया सर फीफो पे करो। Vaishnavi, go through the video after this. I've discussed that how the question number 2 was to be attempted. एलिमेंट्स देना भूल गया अभिषेक, एलिमेंट्स कौन से देने भूल गए, एलिमेंट्स का मतलब तो कॉस्ट शीट में शो किया होगा ना, रॉ मटेरियल कंज्यूम्ड, व्हाट इज प्राइम कॉस्ट, फैक्ट्री कॉस्ट, वो तो लिखा होगा ना, अलग से देने की जरूरत नहीं थी, अलग से देने की जरूरत नहीं थी, इन द प्रेपरेशन ऑफ कॉस्ट शीट ओनली इफ यू हैव गिवन इट, दैट्स मोर देन एनफ अभिषेक, दैट इज मोर देन एनफ, राइट। चलो बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लेंगे सर, फटाफट से करते हैं। अच्छा ये वाला क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा था सर, ये वाला जॉइंट एंड बाय प्रोडक्ट का क्वेश्चन है ना, हाँ जॉइंट एंड बाय प्रोडक्ट का क्वेश्चन है, दिस इज जॉइंट एंड बाय प्रोडक्ट। सी अगर कॉस्ट शीट में नहीं नहीं अलग से कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, नहीं मार्क्स कटेंगे, अगर कॉस्ट शीट में सही है तो फिर मार्क्स नहीं कटेंगे अभिषेक, इट इज एब्सोल्युटली फाइन, राइट, फिर मार्क्स नहीं कटेंगे, डोंट वरी, फिर मार्क्स कट नहीं होंगे अभिषेक। यस यस वैष्णवी, द स्टेप मार्क्स मिलते हैं, यू गेट द स्टेप मार्क्स। Now, question number 4A was on joint and byproduct, a brilliant question on joint and byproduct. Three process hai, product passes through three processes RST, and there are three raw materials JK and L which are used in the ratio of 40, 40 and 20 in the process R. Right, that is in the first process they are used in the ratio 40 40 20. The output of each process is transferred to next process. Process loss is 10% of the total input in each process. At the stage of T, a byproduct Z is emerging and the ratio of main product to byproduct is 80:20. The selling price of X is 60. The company produced 14,580 kgs of product X. The material price is 15 per kg, 9 per kg and 7 per kg. The process costs are given as below: variable cost per kg and the fixed cost. The byproduct Z cannot be processed further and can be sold at rupees 30 per kg at split of stage. There is no realizable value of the process losses at any stage. Right, prepare a statement showing the apportionment of joint cost on the basis of sales value of the X and the Z at the split of point. Now the only problem was the calculation of the joint cost. Right, in this question the main problem was how to calculate the joint cost, sir. Everything is given, price, material price is given, variable cost is given, but the problem is that the units of the raw material J, K and L are not given. So for that, what you should have done is, in this question the requirement was to do the reverse working. Reverse working. What is given to you? The final output of the process T is given. Now in the process T, you are getting two products basically. The X you are getting and the Z you are getting. The X is given as 14,580 and the ratio is given 80:20. Right. So what is the value of Z, sir? 14,580. 1 second. You should have calculated the value of Z here. Once calculated the value of Z here, you will have got the total output of T. Total output. Total output of process T. Right? Now to find the input, let's say X is the input in the process T minus 10% loss is equal to total output. This is the total output that you would have got. 14,580 divided by 80 into 20. This comes to, I think, 3645. This would have been equal to 18 to 25. Thank you, Vaishnavi, thank you. So from here, this X value, what is this X? This X becomes the input of T, or it becomes the output of S. Output of S. This way, you should have reached till the input of R. By reverse working, starting from T, you would have reached the input of R. Then the input of R would have been divided in the ratio of 40, 40, 20 to find out the quantity that is used for J, K and L. Once the quantity is found, then you have the material cost, you have the variable cost and you have the fixed cost. Then everything is available. After that, everything is available, you would have been able to attempt. Right? The only trick in this question was to start with the last process and do the reverse working. That was the trick of this question. Right? So question number 4, B part. B part was simple. Activity based costing. Right? This was simple, sir. Activity based costing. So no major discussion required on this. Activity based costing. Right? And November 23 students, be alert. Do not think that May 23 is tough, so November 23 will be easy. No, it is not necessary. November 23 can be tougher than this. Wait. LHS education, wait. Right? After that, coming to the next one, two products A and B, the relevant cost data. This is, I think, on the limiting factor. Yes, this is on the limiting factor. Calculated only rate per unit. Why not prepare the statement on activity based costing? What was the issue with that? The cost is given to you, rent and taxes on the basis of floor area, electricity expenses on the basis of power consumption, and indirect labor on the basis of direct labor hours, and repairs and maintenance on the basis of machine hours. As simple as that. So simple activity based costing question, it wasn't that difficult. This is a limiting factor question. Omkar, I don't know profit kya aaya, kya nahi aaya, because in the evening at 5 the paper concluded and I was traveling somewhere. I didn't get time to solve actually fully, but I just went through the paper and thought of just giving you the overall idea that how this paper should have been attempted. Absorption, that was okay. You're talking first part, na? Okay, overhead rate per hour, that was the requirement. That was the only requirement. The statement was not required. Then it's correct. Vinamra Tyagi, you are correct. Right? This was a limiting factor question. So in the limiting factor, material selling price is given, variable cost is given to you. This whole is a variable cost. This whole is a variable cost. Right? You will have got contribution, then contribution per limiting factor, that is per machine hour. The machine hour is given somewhere, A and B. The availability of machine hour is limited to 55,000. The monthly demand for A and B is 6,000 unit. The variable factory overheads are ₹4 per machine hour. So how the machine hours to be calculated? Yes, the machine hours were the limited factor, but here to calculate the contribution per limiting factor, you need to you require what? You require the machine hours per unit. Machine hours per unit. How you would have calculated from this part? The variable factory overheads are ₹4 per machine hour. So if you are paying 40 rupees, that means you are paying for how many hours? 40 divided by 4, that is 10 machine hours, and 20 divided by 4, that is for 5 machine hours. Vaishnavi, it was on the tougher side. It was on the trickier side, basically. I would say it was on the trickier side. That is the right terminology to use. It is on the trickier side. I won't say very tough, but yes, on the trickier side. Guys, please, if any one of you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe it. We have covered the whole courses, guys. We have done so much effort. So please do this. That was the main purpose, Vinamra Tyagi, that was the main purpose, right? 40 by 4, 10, and 20 by 4, 20, right? So this is how you should have calculated. Then the mix was required, that in those, the fixed expenses are given in these 55,000 hours. How can you plan the ranking based on the contribution per machine hour? First, you need to calculate contribution per unit. Contribution per unit, then contribution per machine hour, contribution per machine hour. That is the limiting factor. Then you would have done the ranking, right? And then the production, and then the production of product A and B. This is how it was to be solved, right? Coming to 5A, this was on standard costing. Now, the standard costing question was very good, sir. Very good question, right? This was actually a good question. That NC Limited using a standard costing system for manufacturing of its product A, the following information is available. Yes, the rank is to be done on the basis of contribution per hour. Omkar Rajgade, correct. Not on the basis, directly on the basis of contribution per unit, but contribution per limiting factor. On that basis, we have to calculate it. Right? So, standard costing. First was on material cost, material part, material variances. 25,000 kg of raw material were actually purchased for 3,12,500. The expected output is 8 units of the product X from each 1 kg of the raw material. There is no opening and closing inventories. The material price variance and cost variance as per the records are 12,500 favorable and 1,800 adverse respectively. And you are required to calculate the standard price per kg and the standard quantity of the raw material. That is standard quantity for actual output. Standard quantity for actual output. So this was the requirement. Right? What is the actual quantity? Actual quantity is given to you 25,000 kg. Now, if you prepare the table, how you could have proceeded with this? What we take? Standard quantity for actual output, right? Then standard rate, then standard cost. Actual quantity, actual rate, and actual cost. What is given to you? Actual quantity is given, that is 25,000 kg, right? Purchased. Actual cost is given to you, that is 3,12,500. 3,12,500. Then what is the rate? 3,12,500 divided by 25,000, that is 12.5. Right? Now, what is given to you? You are given the material cost variance. What is material cost variance? Standard cost minus actual cost. And what is cost variance given as? 1,800 adverse. 1,800 adverse means minus 1,800 is equal to standard cost minus actual cost is 3,12,500. So what will be the standard cost, sir? Standard cost will be 3,12,500 minus 1,800. Right? 3,12,500 minus 1,800. 3,10,700. This would have been the standard cost. 3,10,700. Right? Secondly, what is given, sir? The price variance is given. Price variance. Yes, Rishabh. As comparison to the last attempt, the paper was on the tougher side. No doubt about it. I'm admitting it, sir. The paper was on the tougher side, and I warned it, on 6th of May itself that the paper is expected to be tough, and this paper is as per my expectation, what I was expecting. सत्यम वहां पे रेट 150 जो नॉर्मल रेट लेना था वही था. ठीक है जी. तो यहां पे आपको प्राइस वेरिएंस दे रखा है. अब प्राइस वेरिएंस कैसे निकलता है सर? मटेरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस अगर निकालना हो तो कैसे निकालते हैं? स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस, वन सेकेंड गाइस, आप लोगों को दिख रहा है क्या? चल रहा है, ठीक है, ठीक है। स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस इनटू एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी, तो यहां से आपके पास क्या आ जाता सर? 12,500 दे रखा है यहाँ पे। क्या दे रखा है? फेवरेबल था या क्या था सर? फेवरेबल था। 12,500 इज इक्वल टू स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस माइनस एक्चुअल प्राइस हमारे पास है कितना है? 12.5 इनटू एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी हमारे पास है कितना है सर? 25,000। तो यहां से आपका स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस आ जाता, ठीक है। यहां से स्टैंडर्ड रेट, ये स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस कह लो, एक्चुअल प्राइस, स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस आ जाता। स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्ट और स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस है तो स्टैंडर्ड क्वांटिटी फॉर एक्चुअल आउटपुट आ जाता। दिस वाज द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, ठीक है। सो दिस इज हाउ इट वाज टू बी अटेम्प्टेड, क्लियर है। उसके बाद इसी तरह से लेबर का था सर। द स्टैंडर्ड टाइम टू प्रोड्यूस अ बैच ऑफ 10 यूनिट्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट एक्स इज 15 मिनट्स। स्टैंडर्ड वेज रेट पर लेबर आर इज 50 रुपीज। द कंपनी एम्प्लॉयज 120 इनटू। अब यहां पर दो कैटेगरीज में आ गया था सर, स्किल्ड एंड अनस्किल्ड इन द रेशियो ऑफ 60-40। द आर्ली वेजेस एक्चुअली पेड वर 50 पर आवर फॉर द स्किल्ड वर्कर्स एंड 40 पर आवर फॉर द सेमी स्किल्ड वर्कर्स। स्टैंडर्ड जो था वो 50 था दोनों के लिए। द वीकली वर्किंग अर्निंग्स आर 40 आवर्स पर वीक। वर्किंग आवर्स जो थे, स्टैंडर्ड वेज रेट इज द सेम फॉर स्किल्ड एंड अनस्किल्ड वर्कर, वो तो उसने दे ही रखा था सर, ठीक है। एक्चुअल आउटपुट यहां पर नहीं थी आपके पास फॉर स्किल्ड एंड वर्कर्स। आवर्स दे रखे थे, रेट दे रखा था आप लोगों को, एंड द आवर्स दे रखे थे। एक्चुअल आवर्स जो थे वो 40 थे सर, ठीक है। तो यहां से एक्चुअल कॉस्ट आ जाती है हमारे पास। उसने निकालने को क्या कहा था? मटेरियल यूजेज वेरिएंस निकल जाता सर, लेबर कॉस्ट वेरिएंस एंड लेबर एफिशिएंसी वेरिएंस से निकालना था। तो इतना ज्यादा कोई मुश्किल नहीं था इसमें, ठीक है। 15 मिनट्स है और 125 वर्कर्स है, 60-40 की रेशियो में नंबर ऑफ वर्कर्स को डिवाइड करके फिर उससे हमें निकालना पड़ता सर बैच ऑफ 10 यूनिट्स। इसका मैं डिटेल्ड सॉल्यूशन दे दूंगा, ठीक है, चिंता मत करो, क्योंकि बनाना पड़ेगा सर डिटेल्ड सॉल्यूशन इसका भी पूरा। मंथली फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड्स का बजट दे रखे थे आपको। ओवरहेड्स आर इवनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड थ्रू आउट द मंथ एंड assume 4 weeks in a month. In the last week of the month, the actual fixed overhead was 19,500 in ये 4 वीक्स का दे रखा है आपको। दिस इज फॉर 4 वीक्स विच इज गिवन टू यू, राइट। ये किसका दे रखा है आपको? 4 वीक्स का डाटा दे रखा है आपको। और ये जो दे रखा है ये 1 वीक का दे रखा है एक्चुअल्स। तो ये, और ये क्या है? ये बजटेड वाला है, ठीक है, बजटेड और एक्चुअल। तो उसने मांगा भी वही होगा, कॉस्ट वेरिएंस, ओवरहेड एक्सपेंडिचर वेरिएंस एंड वॉल्यूम वेरिएंस। फेवरेबल और एडवर्स तो बताना ही था सर, उसमें क्या ही डाउट है। स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग वाला क्वेश्चन था, टफ था सर, डेफिनेटली टफ था। एकदम से डायरेक्टली अगर आप कहो कि सर अटेम्प्ट हो सकता था, तो नहीं हो सकता था। आई एग्री टू दिस थिंग, नहीं हो सकता था सर, मुश्किल था क्वेश्चन, इतना भी आसान नहीं था, ठीक है। और जो लेबर है फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड वेरिएंसेस है मैं करवा दूंगा कैलकुलेशन करके, राइट, कि सर क्या क्या दे रखा है, किस तरह से उसकी कैलकुलेशन होनी चाहिए थी, क्योंकि इसमें सब कुछ आएगा इनटू कंसीडरेशन। 125 वर्कर्स भी आएगा और एक बैच जो 10 यूनिट बनाने के लिए स्टैंडर्ड टाइम 15 मिनट का है, राइट। तो एक्चुअल के लिए कितना टाइम होना चाहिए था, तो वो सारी कैलकुलेशंस करनी पड़ेंगी इसमें। एब्जॉर्ब्ड ओवरहेड्स हाउ मच, नेक्स्ट पार्ट में क्या। और ये जो बी पार्ट है ना, बी पार्ट वाज ऑन रिकंसिलेशन, इजी क्वेश्चन था सर। जो बी पार्ट है, बी पार्ट वाज ऑन रिकंसिलेशन, दैट फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स थे हमारे पास फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग में और कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग में। तो क्या कर रखा है सर हमने यहाँ पे? अंडर एब्जॉर्प्शन कर रखी है। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड्स थे, ये भी अंडर एब्जॉर्ब थे हमारे पास। सेलिंग ओवरहेड्स थे, ये हम लोगों ने ओवर एब्जॉर्ब कर रखे थे कॉस्टिंग में। ओपनिंग स्टॉक था, इसकी भी वैल्यू ओवर वैल्यूड था अगर कॉस्टिंग के हिसाब से स्टार्ट करें हम लोग। क्लोजिंग स्टॉक भी ओवर वैल्यूड था आपके पास, राइट। तो ये था सर, यू आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू प्रिपेयर द रिकंसिलेशन स्टेटमेंट। सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपको ये बताना था कि कहां पर अंडर रिकवरी है, कहां पर ओवर रिकवरी है, एंड देयर इफेक्ट ऑन द कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट। तो बस यही कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट का आपने इफेक्ट यहां पर बताना था। ये तो मुझे लग रहा है फ्री के 5 मार्क्स थे, फ्री फंड के 5 मार्क्स थे सर। और ये रहा थ्योरी, हाउ डज द हाई एम्प्लॉय टर्नओवर इंक्रीज द कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, सर ट्रेनिंग कॉस्ट करना पड़ता है, बार बार से रिक्रूटमेंट का कॉस्ट करना पड़ता है, सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स, दिस वाज अ थ्योरी। और सर मजे की बात देखो, कंपल्सरी थ्योरी आ गई ना 5 नंबर की। अरे इफेक्ट ही तो है। इफेक्ट क्या है सर? अगर अंडर एब्जॉर्ब कर रखा है तो क्या होगा? सिंपल अभिषेक समझो, अगर अंडर एब्जॉर्ब कर रखा है आप लोगों ने, इफ यू हैव अंडर एब्जॉर्ब्ड, नहीं गलत नहीं होगा, लेकिन जब प्रॉफिट्स ही नहीं दे रखे तो रिकंसिलेशन स्टेटमेंट कैसे बनाओगे ना? अगर आपने कॉस्टिंग में जो एक्सपेंस है वो कम ले रखा है तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि कॉस्टिंग का प्रॉफिट आपका ज्यादा है, कॉस्टिंग का प्रॉफिट आपने ज्यादा शो कर रखा है, राइट? इसी तरह से अगर ओवर है तो उल्टा कर रखा है, आपने एक्सपेंस ज्यादा ले रखा है तो कॉस्टिंग का जो प्रॉफिट है वो कम शो कर रखा है, राइट? एब्जॉर्ब्ड ओवरहेड्स वाज नॉट गिवन। Absorbed overheads, why the absorbed overheads was required? I'll prepare this question, the standard question, right? There is nothing to be done with the absorb. Acha, okay, you are talking about the standard cost for actual output. We'll see to it. There must be some calculation which would have been done. I'll see to it. Stock, try to understand. Cost sheet was very simple. Cost sheet, what is to be done in the cost sheet? We are not doing the detailed question. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. You have taxation paper here on 10th. Okay. Opening stock. If the opening stock is overvalued, what will happen, sir? If the opening stock is overvalued, your costing profit is less. You have to increase that costing profit. And on the same side, if the closing stock is overvalued, then your profit will be more. Just try to understand with the help of a trading profit and loss account. Here your sales is 1 lakh rupees. Now here you are taking closing stock. If your closing stock is more by 2500, that means your profit will be more by 2500. Your costing profit will be more. Right? This is how it is to be done. Again, a compulsory theory question, sir. Compulsory theory question. So all those who say that we do not want to do the theory question, please see to this paper and see to the last few papers. Every time you are getting a theory question. Compulsory theory question you are getting every time. Rest was theory, sir. Rest was theory. Cost object and give example of cost object. Practical capacity and normal capacity. How is normal capacity different? Activity based management is there. Research and development cost is to be taken in the cost of production after the factory cost, right? Maintenance and repair shop, hospital, dispensary, fire protection. How will you treat the normal loss, and abnormal gain in process costing? Sir, simple. Theory wasn't that difficult if you have done it at least. So this was your paper. Definitely a trickier paper, not on a very easy side. You cannot take it very easy, sir, right? Cost object is anything for which the cost is to be calculated. Anything for which the cost is to be calculated. That is a cost. QRAP scrap में आएगा. See, we will take it. The detailed paper will be uploaded on my costing all-rounder course, right? Rest you will wait for it now. Don't worry. अब जो हो गया उसको छोड़ दो. ठीक है, जब सजेस्टेड आंसर्स आएंगे उनसे टैली हो जाएगा, उससे पहले तो रिजल्ट आ जाएगा सर. नथिंग टू वरी. QRAP क्या है सर? QRAP किसकी बात कर रहे हो? कॉस्ट शीट की बात कर रहे हो? QRAP क्या है? आई डोंट नो किस चीज की बात कर रहे हो आप लोग. व्हाट इज QRAP? किसने स्क्रैप कहां दे रखा है इस क्वेश्चन में? कहीं पर भी नहीं है सर. ठीक है जी. तो अब मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ये है कि ज्यादा टेंशन लेने की बात नहीं है. डोंट वरी एट ऑल. Whatever has happened has happened. The only purpose of this video was to calm you guys. This was how the paper was to be attempted. Even then, most of you must have felt that you have done it right. Little tricky, not lengthy, and new question was there. Yes, definitely, Satyam, definitely. Okay. So this was how the paper was to be attempted. Definitely a trickier paper. But now what you need to do is focus on your taxation paper now. Focus on your taxation. Whatever has happened, sir. It's already over. And for November 23 students, please don't take it lightly. Do not consider it that do not think that May 23 was difficult, then the November 23 will be easy. November 23 might be difficult than this, right? So, bilkul, right, Rishabh, right. So what is important is November 23 students, you should start your practice from right now. Practice more and more questions. This is one mistake that many students are doing, that they do not do the sufficient practice, right? Many students joined our all-rounder course. They got a sufficient practice of the question. I'm not saying that these questions from whatever my books or my all-rounder course, but what the practice will give you a wider horizon to understand the question, to think about the technicalities of the question and how to tackle it, right? So this was what was to be done. Right, so November 23 students, this is a high alert for all of you, and one request to all the May 23 student guys, please, whenever your result come, please do share your results, right? Many a times we do not get the results. Please do share your results with us on our email ID whenever your results are out, right? For now, what you have to do is, for now you have to focus on your taxation paper. Give it your best out. Even if this paper was tough, what you need to think about is, that now let's give it the best shot in the taxation, and whatever the marks you might lose in the costing, try to cover it up in the taxation. Whether it was being prepared for a particular month, yes, Ishita, yes, correct. You have to divide it by 12, because you are preparing the cost sheet for 1 month. गायत्री नवंबर 23 के लिए जो बैच ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है यूट्यूब पर, वही वाला एप्लीकेबल है. FM इको का बैच नया स्टार्ट हो रहा है फॉर ग्रुप 2 स्टूडेंट्स. ऑल दोज हु वांट टू प्रिपेयर फॉर ग्रुप 2 फॉर नवंबर अटेम्प्ट, FM इको बैच विल बी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1st of June. रजिस्ट्रेशंस उसकी वेबसाइट से ओपन हो चुकी है. So all those who wish to do after your taxation exam, you can join it there, right? सारे रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स देखे थे, फॉर्मूला याद नहीं करना पड़ा, इजीली समझ आया. थैंक यू ऋषभ, दैट वाज द ऑल द मोटिव ड्यूरिंग दैट होल प्रोसेस, right? And for November 23, the costing batch which is available on YouTube is applicable. Costing all-rounder courses there, ICISM series is there, handbooks are there. So November 23 students should not wait for anything. You should be starting right now, right from today itself, right? Because if you are going to waste even a single day of your life, that means you are losing out on something. And for all those who are preparing for group 1, only after completing group 1, please register for FM EFF, the live batch. Most likely the live batch, if we get the sufficient number of students, we are going to start from 1st of June, which will include the handbooks, which will include ICISM series, all the concepts, RTPs, MTPs, previous year questions in detail. Everything is going to get covered. Yes, Isha, I have already answered that. Okay, so I hope now you people must be relaxed a little bit. Just relax down, calm down, and it's already 9 o'clock. Start with your taxation preparations, right? You don't have much of the time left for the taxation. Just prepare it well. Give it your best shot in the taxation, right? Whatever this, because of the tough paper, whatever the marks you feel that you might lose out in the costing, try to cover it up in the taxation, and you guys can do it. You guys have the caliber. You have given your best in this paper also. You have tried. This is a blessing that you got this chance to try this tough paper, right? Because in life you will be getting many tough situations. So if you are getting the tough situations at this stage, this is a blessing that you are going to learn something which is known as tackling the troublesome, right? That how the troublesome situations you are going to tackle, this is what you learn from this paper or any of the toughest papers. Just take it positive. go ahead and enjoy, right? And enjoy your taxation paper now. So God bless you all the best, guys. And after the first group, please do share with all your friends. Secondly, all those who want to study group 2 FMEFF, new batch is going to start from 1st of June. Please register for that from our website www.ksjteaching.org. Right. So anything anyone wants to ask, I'll be there for the next 2 minutes. All the best for your taxation examination. Definitely, you guys will give it your best shot. I have full faith in you guys. That's the most important thing. Just believe in yourself. Right? Just believe in yourself. You people will rock it. Absolutely rock it. Okay, anything anyone wants to ask? If you are a November 23 student or any student, anything that you want to ask. I am here for the next 2-3 minutes. If anyone wants to ask anything, you can ask. किसी को कुछ नहीं पूछना? All the best. चलो जी, ठीक है. All the best for your taxation preparation. Give it your best, guys, and see you very soon with some new batches. Stay connected, stay tuned, and stay safe and stay healthy. That is the most important thing during the exams and after the exams also. God bless you all. All the best for your last examination. All those who are appearing for group 1 and all those who are appearing for both the groups. All the best for your group 2 also. Okay, so see you guys very soon. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep